Hi, welcome to this edition of Sojourners Along the Way. I'm Patricia Ercolino, the producer of Sojourners Along the Way. And I want to make sure that our viewing audience knows how you can watch the program on the internet. If you're watching it on Time Warner Network, I'm very thankful that you are doing that. But you can also watch it on the internet at your leisure. I am very thankful for Google and YouTube because they have made it very easy for you to find Sojourners Along the Way. All you have to do is you can do a search, type in Sojourners Along the Way, and then add the words YouTube. And YouTube will take you directly to our playlist, and you can see the programs that have been produced thus far. And I hope you will take advantage of that. There are a number of programs there to help people. I am very concerned about what's going on in our country. One of the people that you will hear today, a couple of the people that you will hear brief clips from, are talking about how they, through Americorps, are helping obesity in this nation in children. And it's rampant. It's something that we need to be addressing. In another program that was done, some of the statistics that were mentioned were that by age 10, you can already see evidence of heart disease in our children. This program is not going to deal with health issues, but that's a tidbit that I just had to give you because I want to encourage you. There's a lot of information that you can get through the Sojourners programs that address health issues, and also a lot of good information on the internet. Sojourners is hoping that you want to help, not just in those issues, but to find some way to give. The United States was built upon volunteerism, and lately that has been disappearing. Today's program is going to talk about what some have labeled the best-kept secret, but it shouldn't be a secret. And today, the reason I'm wearing this particular top is because we're going to focus on something from the United States. We're going to go red, white, and blue, yay! I am very excited to have this person as my guest today because Shannon Stewart firmly is dynamite. I am excited that she is in the Athens County area and all that she is doing. Shannon is with Americorps. She is on staff to Rural Action, Americorps. You are very fortunate to have this individual with you. So Shannon, tell us just a little bit about how did you get involved with Americorps, please?
Well, I heard about Americorps when I was a college student at Ohio University. I think it was an Americorps member came and gave a presentation about what it is. I think he also presented about the Peace Corps as well. And I thought, oh, that sounds interesting, and didn't think about it again until I graduated, and then I was like, what am I going to do with my life? So I did my first term of national service as an Americorps VISTA member with the Corporation for Ohio Appalachian Development, their early childhood education program. And VISTA is a national service program that targets people that already have their college degrees and are ready to work in some sort of administrative field alleviating poverty. So a lot of it was recruiting volunteers, desk work, training people on financial sustainability. And that was great. It was fun. But by the end of my one-year term of VISTA, I was really ready to get my hands dirty. So I searched for Americorps state national programs, which are more direct service on the ground. And I found the one that got my hands dirtiest of all, Ohio Stream Restore Corps through Rural Action. I was a Watershed Americorps member, and I literally did get my hands dirty, sampling and picking out bugs out of the stream and catching fish and counting them and doing a lot of environmental education and community outreach.
Now, we're going to have to unpack what Shannon just said. We're going to do it step by step and slowly, okay? So, can you give us a definition? What is Americorps?
I can try.
Okay.
Most of the time we describe Americorps as the Peace Corps, but for the United States. Americorps members are generally people who are at some transition period in their life. They're coming out of high school, or they're coming out of college, or they're switching careers, or they're retiring. And they want to do something to serve their communities. Americorps members spend 12 months with a nonprofit or a community-based organization in a community of need. And in those 12 months, they work with that community or that organization to provide education for at-risk youth, or provide basic needs for people that need it, health education services, environmental restoration, economic development. There are all kinds of Americorps programs all over the nation. And an Americorps member serves 1,700 hours of national service within that year term. Some programs are 10 months. Our program is a year long. There are also national service programs for just the summer. If you're a student in between 2 semesters of college and you want to work on a shorter national service program. And there's also national service aside from Americorps State National. I mentioned Americorps Vista, and there's Americorps NCCC, which is like the modern version of the Civilian Conservation Corps. And those members serve intense periods of time with a disaster community. So doing disaster relief services or really deep needs, basic needs work. And the NCCC members will live in a community together in the community that's having some sort of disaster, and they'll bounce around the nation. Americorps State National members and VISTA members are placed with one site, and they generally stay there for the year.
I know that you are focusing on Athens area, and before we go any further, I'd like you to give some contact information so that way our viewing audience will be able to contact the Americorps here locally. And, well, let's start with that, and then I'll ask the next question.
Okay. There are a couple local Southeast Ohio Americorps programs. There is Rural Action's Ohio Stream Restore Corps, and that's what I'm with. You can go to ruralaction.org or email me, Shannon, S-H-A-N-N, at ruralaction.org, or call 740-767-4938. There's also ComCorps, and they, instead of dealing with environmental restoration, deal more with health education, reducing or maintaining the obesity of kids in Athens and Washington counties. So if you're interested in ComCorps, I'm pretty close with those people. I can get you their information too. There are also Red Cross Americorps members, College Guide Americorps members, Library Americorps members, all placed. Their central offices are not in the Athens area, but they're placed in various places around Southeast Ohio. I can get you that contact information too, or you could go to americorps.gov and look geographically for Americorps programs in your area.
Okay. I'm hoping that our viewing audience is going to be inspired and say, you know what, I can do something. I want to help my community. I want to get involved. I love my country. I love where I live. And to make this an even better community, I want to find out what I can do. So how can they find out?
Well, I hope you do feel that way. You can contact me, Shannon, at Shannon, S-H-A-N-N-O-N, at ruralaction.org, or call 740-767-4938. You can also go to ruralaction.org and click Get Involved to explore volunteer opportunities and our Americorps program. Or if you just want to learn more about Americorps, you can go to americorps.gov.
Thank you. And I like that this time she said, if you want to get involved, then you can do, and it says, get involved. So I'm going to encourage you, please. Wherever you are in life, you can find a few hours. It can be a month. I mean, I don't know. Do they have guidelines? People have to do this much time for Americorps if they're doing it as a volunteer?
If you want to be an Americorps member, you'll commit to either the 3-month, 10-month, 12-month, however long the program is, term of service. If you just want to volunteer with Americorps members, you can do that on your own time, whatever those volunteers need. Same with volunteering with Rural Action. Just contact us and we'll find a place that you fit.
Yeah, they'll plug you in and get you going. I like that. Always find something to do, okay? We want to help Athens County, southeastern Ohio, and this is actually national. Americorps is nationally. So once this is on YouTube, and if you are watching it, you can go online and you can find an Americorps program close to you and get involved. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I want to ask you more questions.
Good.
All right. You told us a little bit about Americorps members. Now, you already were an Americorps member, and you served for 2 years, if I recall correctly.
1 year as a Vista, 1 year as Americorps State National.
Okay. What did you do differently for each?
Well, for Vista, it was definitely much more managing a program. I worked with after-school programs that needed to find sustainable funding, and I trained them on developing their mission statements and creating a needs assessment and where to look for funding and how to write grants. And that was very fun, but it was also rather administrative. So when I got a hankering to do a little more direct service work, I explored Americorps State National, and as a Sunday Creek Watershed Group Americorps member with Rural Action's Ohio Stream Restore Corps, I did...
Wait a minute, I'm going to interject.
Okay.
Sunday Creek is in Athens County, correct?
Athens and Perry County and parts of
Okay.
other counties as well.
So it goes down through the southeastern Ohio area.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to give our viewing audience who is not familiar with that, there is really a Sunday Creek.
There is. It's
There
about
really
27 miles long. It's directly adjacent to the Monday Creek watershed, which is about that long as well.
And I'm sorry,
It's-
one only
it's-
goes on Sunday, one only goes on Monday,
Yes,
right?
correct.
Okay,
No.
want to make sure.
The legend has it that explorers, the first European settlers in this area that decided they could name creeks, they came across Sunday Creek on a Sunday and Monday Creek on a Monday, and by the time they got to the next creek, people coming from the north had already named it. They also named Federal Creek, and it's named Federal Creek because it has 13 tributaries like the 13 colonies.
Aw, well, that's sweet. And you can learn some history while you're in Americorps, too. Okay, go ahead. I interrupted you.
What were we talking about?
Well, you mentioned...
Oh, what we do as Ohio Stream Restore Corps members. We did, for watershed restoration, a lot of water monitoring. And anyone who's a student in the environmental studies at OU or at Hocking College, you're probably familiar with this kind of stuff. We would monitor the water for chemical health. Sunday Creek, Monday Creek, and Raccoon Creek, another area, almost a river. Raccoon Creek is much longer than Sunday and Monday Creek. Their main impact in those watersheds is acid mine drainage. And that is left over from before the 1970s when there were regulations put in place for miners. They just kind of would dig out the coal and leave the hole. And when water runs down through old abandoned coal mines, it comes out with a lot of iron and other minerals in it that aren't healthy for the stream. And if you've seen the Orange Creek, that's when the iron deposits in the stream when it comes out and hits the air. And that water is usually, if you see that orange, that water is very acidic. For stream life to be healthy in a stream, the pH has got to be somewhere between 6 and 8. And we're typically dealing in streams where the pH is 4 and below. So the goal is to bring that pH back up to a neutral, sustainable environment for living things, and to also make the watersheds an area that's beautiful, that people want to recreate in, that they value. And we would monitor the chemical quality, all that iron and AMD, and try to figure out if our treatment systems were working. And also monitor for biological water quality. So testing, we do something called macroinvertebrate sampling. Aquatic macroinvertebrates are bugs that live in the water.
Would you please explain that? That's macro what?
Macroinvertebrate. They're water bugs.
That sounds like it has invertebrate.
Well, invertebrate means that they have an exoskeleton instead of a spine.
Okay.
And macro means they're big enough to see with the naked eye, but it doesn't mean they're huge.
Huge, okay.
They're usually about that big, maybe some of them about that big. And when you test for macroinvertebrates, you go in the stream, you take nets, you collect all of the leafy debris and woody debris, and you pick through it, and you put all of the bugs in a jar, and they're later sampled. And the types of bugs and the amount of those types tells you something about the health of that stream. The same is true for when you sample fish. We call it fish shocking, because you literally use electricity to stun the fish, collect them, count and categorize them, and then put them back in the stream. It sounds terrible, but we always joke that for the fish it's just like an alien abduction.
Oh, that's
And
terrible.
then they tell all their fishy friends about it. But it helps us understand if those treatment systems are working to get the stream to a healthy point for life, and if those treatment systems aren't working, if the pH is there but the biology isn't, what can we do to provide more habitat for the creatures? So, just so you guys know, I got my degree from OU in social work. I had no background in water quality. After a year of Americorps service, I can tell you all that stuff. So that is a great example of what Americorps can do for you as a person looking for more skill development and to participate in national service.
And that's the part where she got her hands dirty.
Literally dirty and wet and cold sometimes.
Yeah. Now what about for somebody who's not really that keen on getting their hands that dirty?
Well, we do have positions in Ohio Stream Restore Corps that are not focused on watershed restoration. We have positions in zero waste, which you do get your hands dirty doing that also, because if you have ever been to one of the local festivals and you see a conveyor belt full of trash that people are picking through, that's our zero waste program. So it's really, really fun, but if maybe that's not what you're into either, we have environmental education positions. They get dirty too because they take kids outside. We have public...
No, wait. When you say you take kids outside, please explain what that means.
Environmental education members go into classrooms and schools, and they bring environmental education to those teachers. They provide curriculum, and the kids get to do things like go on field trips to Wildcat Hollow, take hikes, learn about flowers and bugs and birds, and learn about AMD and the stuff we're doing to restore it.
What does that stand for?
Acid mine drainage. That's the abandoned coal mine orange gunk. Environmental education members also host summer camps every summer. That's their watershed day camps.
So could teachers contact the Americorps and say, please come to my classroom?
Oh, absolutely. The best person to contact, if you're an educator and you want to have environmental education come out and work with your youth or adults, contact Joe, J-O-E, at ruralaction.org. That's Joe Brim. He runs our environmental education program.
Okay, and that address was?
Joe, J-O-E, at ruralaction.org.
Very good. And for a parent, because you said there's something in the summertime, do the parents individually contact Americorps, or how would they get their children involved, or grandchildren? Grandparents, please, if you're watching this, aunts, uncles, parents, cousins, whoever, this would be a fun thing to get your kids into during the summertime, right?
Absolutely. The watershed day camps are a week long, but we do them for each of the watersheds. Monday Creek has one, Sunday Creek has 2 different weeks for different age groups, Raccoon Creek has a couple different weeks, and also if you happen to be up in Tuscarawas County or know people that are up that direction, we also have the Huff Run, Mud Run watershed day camps. If you are interested in participating in the watershed day camps, go to ruralaction.org. We open those registrations in the late spring, early summer, or email joe at ruralaction.org, or call him at 740-767-2225. That's joe at ruralaction.org, 740-767-2225.
That was very good. Yes, you are. Now, if somebody that is watching this on YouTube, and they don't live in our region, they live in another state, then they would be able to find information for their locale, correct?
Not through ruralaction.org, but Rural Action serves Appalachian, Ohio. So we are in the Athens County region, like I said, up in Tuscarawas County. Don't really go, Lawrence County is about as far west as we go at this point with our current staffing capabilities. But there are environmental educators all over the U.S., and you should definitely call your local schools, call any environmental nonprofits, call the DNR and the EPA, and see if you can get connected with some sort of outdoor learning experiences.
No, we want them to call Americorps.
Not all Americorps programs do environmental education. It's most Americorps programs are education-based, and quite a few of them are health education, health needs, basic needs. And some of them are environmental, some of them are economic development. In Ohio, we're one of the only environmental restoration programs that specifically works on environmental education and restoration.
Okay.
In Colorado, California, the West Coast, the East Coast, you're going to find, in Florida, you're going to find some more of that.
Okay.
In the Midwest, it's not quite as common.
So most of the comments, if not all, actually do pertain to Athens County, which is southeastern Ohio, and that is the state of Ohio. But be creative. If you're not in Ohio, you're not in Athens County, check it out. Internet, Google knows everything nowadays. Americorps, that is the key. And find out what is in your area, because I really do want to encourage you to get involved, because there's a lot that can be done. Okay? Now, I have a list here that had some of the things that people do. You've already talked about the watershed restoration, environmental education. Did you talk much about the zero waste initiatives? That's where they're going to be picking through. That's one of those ones you're going to want to wear gloves.
They do provide gloves. That's not the only thing the Zero Waste program does, though. The Americorps members also do provide education about recycling, reducing waste, composting to kids in schools, or come out to the watershed day camps and provide that education. And members are also focusing a lot right now on getting local businesses to take zero waste pledges, making sure that people are really making that commitment to recycle, reduce, reuse. The bars in Uptown Athens, if you start seeing new recycling bins where you can put all your bottles, that was part of our zero waste initiative that our Americorps members took the bull by the horns and got that going. We also have one Americorps member with sustainable forestry. He is working a lot with non-timber forest products and landowner education, trying to help people figure out how they can be sustainable with their land and be economically sustainable without deforestation happening. Doing things sustainably in the forest, sustainable forestry. We also have public land access and improvement. A lot of members are learning how to build trail and making sure that people know where they can get outdoors and making it more fun. We used to have Americorps members with the Buckeye Trail Association. We don't right now because they have gone from one staff person to 3 staff persons and don't have the capacity for an Americorps member right now, but our Americorps members still work closely with them to learn about trail building and figure out where their services can really be best to get people outdoors in Southeast Ohio.
Now, would that be in the state parks area or elsewhere?
A lot of the trails are in the Wayne National Forest or in Burr Oak State Park, Hocking Hills State Park. Sometimes the trail cuts through a piece of private land, but it's largely public spaces.
Do they get permission for that?
Absolutely they
That's
do.
good.
Their
I didn't think
land
they
acquisition specialist, Richard Lutz, gets permission to do
good.
something like that.
Now, for those of you that are outside of southeastern Ohio, I'm going to put in a plug, particularly in the fall. Southeastern Ohio, Athens County is gorgeous. Vibrant colors, reds, yellows, oranges. It's a wonderful time to come here. And now there are even more trails because we've had these trailblazers. But there are a lot of state parks, and Shannon has already mentioned a few of them. There are state parks, and they're very accessible. They are made for people to be able to use them. It's a beautiful, beautiful area. And I am saying that as a person who grew up in the eastern part of the United States, if you can't tell by my talking. I grew up in New Jersey, so I'm a transplant. But I love Athens, Ohio. So I want to put in a plug. Please come and visit it. You will enjoy it. And you may want to move here too. It's so that beautiful. So let's see. Now you're talking a little bit about the sustainable forestry, and it is. We are in the middle of Wayne National Forest, right?
It's the only national forest in Ohio.
There you go. And it's beautiful, really.
We have 2 Americorps members that are placed with Wayne National Forest, and they're working, and I keep saying working. If anyone from Americorps is watching this, I know I'm supposed to say serve instead of work, but sometimes it doesn't work in the vocabulary.
I will help her. Now that I know that, Americorps, you are serving. In fact, this might be a good springboard for us. I captured quite a bit of footage before this program, before Shannon and I were doing this interview. And one of the things that I captured was the Americorps members on their way to the courthouse. And And I want Shannon to tell us a little bit about what that is, and we'll have that footage.
Americorps members around the state of Ohio did regional swearing-ins. When an Americorps member swears in, they commit themselves to a year of national service. And our region, the Southeast Ohio region, had Rural Action's Ohio Stream Restore Corps, ComCorps, and then some members placed with Red Cross, College Guides, the Library Americorps members, I think they're called Get Online Ohio, or something like that. And all of these Americorps members came together in Athens. We had a little bit of getting to know you, helping people understand where geographically they were close to other Americorps members that they could connect with for volunteering at each other's events, or just having some support, people that understand what Americorps is and what it's like to live as a member. And after that activity, we walked down to the Athens County Courthouse, and we heard from some speakers that were supporting national service, some that were original VISTA volunteers back before VISTA was part of Americorps, some that were our elected officials, just talking about the true benefit that Americorps members bring to their communities of need. And after all of the speakers went, some Americorps State National alums too, the Americorps members stood up and they took the pledge together to commit to their year of national service.
And they have a pledge that they use, correct?
They do, and it's not like the Pledge of Ohio, it's just a pledge to be committed to the action you're taking.
And I asked Shannon if she would be willing to recite that pledge so you can see what it focuses on. So Shannon, would you do that, please?
I will. I must say this is much more powerful if you can hear it as a group sometime, if you can see an Americorps corps swearing in together. But just for the words, this is the pledge that Americorps members take when they swear in for their term of service. I will get things done for America, to make our people safer, smarter, and healthier. I will bring Americans together to strengthen our communities. Faced with apathy, I will take action. Faced with conflict, I will seek common ground. Faced with adversity, I will persevere. I will carry this commitment with me this year and beyond. I am an Americorps member, and I will get things done.
And when she says that, she means it. I told you at the beginning of this program that Athens County... I don't know. Let's get that on camera, please. Would you do that again? This is a strong woman. There.
Rosie the Riveter's pose.
Yeah. Athens County is very fortunate to have you in this locale because you do a lot to help.
Thank you, Patricia.
Serving, yes. I've had the opportunity to see just a little bit of what Shannon does, and we've talked a little bit about what she does, and I have been very impressed. That's why I decided I wanted to have Shannon be my guest.
Well, keep in mind, I'm one of many. People here are very committed to their service.
And she's a good representative for them. And I want more of our viewing audience to get involved too. Okay, Shannon, we have to make sure that we talk about the heritage and resource-based tourism. Would you please explain that?
Sure. That's one of our newer Americorps initiatives. Our Americorps members, let me back up and explain how an Americorps Corps program works.
Okay.
Ohio Stream Restore Corps is a program of Rural Action. Rural Action's mission is to foster social, economic, and environmental justice in Southeast Ohio. And we've been a part of national service since 20 years, since Americorps has existed, really. Started with the VISTA program and then transitioned to a state national program because Rural Action really saw that value of service and that commitment to communities of need aligned with those values of restoring and revitalizing Appalachian Ohio. So an Americorps member, when they apply to a program like Ohio Stream Restore Corps and they get selected, they're then placed with a site. Some of our members, the watersheds, environmental education, zero waste, forestry, they are with Rural Action. Their placement site is a Rural Action program. Some of our members are not, and that's our tourism members are all placed with partner organizations, Ohio Hill Country Heritage Area, the Morgan County Convention and Visitors Bureau, Wayne National Forest, Little Cities of Black Diamonds, which is in Shawnee, also Ohio Hill Country Heritage Area is, and the Perry County Soil and Water Conservation District. And those members have really come together to build this energy under resource-based heritage tourism for small communities that don't have much of an economy left anymore, but they have history, culture, beautiful environmental resources, and just not much infrastructure yet for bringing tourists in and building the economy up sustainably, but with tourism as that backing. So we're excited.
Environmentally friendly.
Definitely. In fact, the watershed groups are a part of the tourism movement. We're making sure that we're building tourism through education, not the amusement park style of tourism, but teaching people what's here, helping people value our culture and our resources, and get as much out of it as they can while still continuing to restore it and improve it every day.
And I'll put in another plug, because southeastern Ohio is beautiful. And now you can see that Americorps is trying to build that up. Okay? So you have to check it out. Another thing that I did off camera prior to this interview with Shannon is I met with Gary Gooseman, who is the board chair. Which one is it?
The board chair.
He's the board chair. Not B-O-R-E-D, but the B-O-A-R-D. He's the chair, and he's a really nice guy of rural action, and he took the time to give us a history. Hopefully, he will do an entire program, because he talked a lot about Americorps seniors.
Senior Corps.
Senior Corps, okay? And that deserves a whole program by itself. Shannon, I want you to tell us. Your passion has come through, I think. It has come through. What is something you are really passionate about, connected with Americorps, that we did not talk about yet?
Well, I want to make sure that people know the benefit. We've talked about the benefit from Americorps, how Americorps impacts communities. But I want to make sure that people interested in becoming an Americorps member understand the benefit to themselves.
Okay.
I mentioned before I'm not allowed to say work, and that is because Americorps members are not employees of their organization. They are national service members. And because of that, Americorps members are not paid. However, Americorps members receive a living allowance for their 1,700-hour term of service, 10 months or 12 months, divided evenly. It is currently $12,730 across the term. That's for full-time Americorps members. Now, that does put you at the poverty level. So most Americorps members apply for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. And in Ohio now, they are eligible for Medicaid as well. But our Americorps program also provides a health plan through the Corps Network, which isn't directly a program of Americorps, but they provide health insurance underwritten by Cigna to lots and lots of Americorps members across the nation. So you get that living allowance of $12,730. You are eligible for food stamps and other poverty level services. You get a health plan if you want to be a part of it. With our program, you also get a mileage, training, and equipment budget that equals out to about $1,400, and that's to help you in your service. We're a rural program. There's a lot of traveling, so that's why you have the mileage. But as an Americorps member, you're also asked to commit to 255 hours of training for yourself to make you more employable, to make you better at your service, but also to make you better after your service. So that we provide a training budget for that and an equipment budget, because generally when people come into the program, they don't have chest waders or binoculars or really great hiking boots that they might need for their service.
Do they get to keep those things?
Yes. The equipment budget covers that equipment for you. A lot of times the equipment isn't great by the end of the year. Like if you're like somebody and you puncture your waders right in the foot, so you get wet when you go in the water. But if you want to keep it, it's yours. You can also donate it back to the program if you feel like you don't need it in your next career path. Because sometimes people do Americorps and they realize they don't want to do that particular thing as a field, and they go back to school or they go find a different job, and that's okay too. I think the best benefit of being an Americorps member is the best perk is the Siegel Americorps Education Award that you get after a successful term of service. Americorps, the Corporation for National and Community Service, grants you $5,500 thereabouts. It sometimes changes from year to year, usually goes up with the cost of living. But that $5,500 is for federal student loans you've already accrued or for future education expenses. And they also, you can put your federal loans into forbearance during your Americorps term, and Americorps will pay off that interest for that year. So you don't have to worry about your student loans during Americorps, and then you get that $5,500 that you can spend slowly or all at once. It is taxable, so that might change how you want to use it. But one great thing about it is you can get that award up to twice. If you do two terms of national service, a Vista and Americorps, or Americorps twice, or Americorps and then Vista, you can get $11,000 to your student loans that we all know are kind of burdensome at this point. So you get the living allowance, you get the perks that come with it, the mileage budgets and the health plan, and you get that education award at the end. But you also get a great learning experience and a great doing experience. You come out with those 255 hours of training, you can get certificates for what you want to be employed in. Or you can make connections at a state agency or a grad school where you want to go next. So you come out with a lot of benefits.
And I think one of the biggest benefits is the feeling that you get on the inside that you have served your country. Now, I think I've mentioned on a previous program, I have worked outside of the United States, and I definitely love my country, and I want to do things that will assist this nation to be all that we like to think that it is. And Americorps definitely is doing something. It is serving the United States. And I, again, want to encourage us, find out what can you do. Americorps offers a lot and a lot of benefits. Southeastern Ohio is very fortunate to have Rural Action here and Americorps here. All right, Shannon. Is there something else in our remaining minutes? Okay, how can someone learn more about joining Americorps? I think I tried to ask you that question already, so that means that we didn't get the full answer.
Well, I do have some specific tips for someone that might be interested in becoming an Americorps member. If you're interested in Ohio Stream Restore Corps, we start recruitment every March, for an August to August 12-month term. You can go to ruralaction.org and get involved and follow the directions that way, or you can go straight to my.americorps.gov. That's my.americorps.gov. Click Apply to Serve, and you can build your Americorps profile. It's like an 8-part resume, but beyond anything a resume has ever been. You also have to get 2 references to send something into that Americorps application, and then you can start looking for programs that you want to apply to. You can go to Search Listings, search Ohio Stream Restore Corps, and apply with us using that application. Again, that period opens in March for an August to August term. If you just want to learn more about Americorps and see what programs exist and don't want to build your profile yet, you can just go to americorps.gov and look through Explore Listings and use different search terms if you want to be in education or economic development or know you want to be in Ohio and explore things that way. You can also just email me, shannon@ruralaction.org, 740-767-4938, if you want to learn more about what my experience was like or how you can be involved with Ohio Stream Restore Corps.
And your email address again is Shannon, SHANNON.
@ruralaction.org.
Okay. I think that sounds like a great way to start. Ask questions. Contact Shannon. You can call her, you can email her, and she loves to talk about what she does.
Obviously.
Yes, yes. So anything else you would like to say in wrapping this up?
Yeah, Americorps is a big step. It's a commitment for a full term, And you might be at the point right now where you're not quite ready to become an Americorps member. If you still want to volunteer with Rural Action and meet our Americorps members and get to know what it's all about, we're absolutely open for that too. Go to ruralaction.org, click Get Involved, and click Volunteer Opportunities, I think it's called. It's pretty self-explanatory. And you can contact our program heads or Americorps members that are currently looking for volunteers that way.
All right. And I want to say a big thank you for all that you are doing and how much it is benefiting this nation.
It's my pleasure. I love Appalachian, Ohio.
I do
Born and
too.
bred.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Laura Olbers. I'm from Athens, Ohio, and I got involved with Americorps after hearing quite a few people that I knew had been involved in the program or with agencies that served with Americorps, and I just thought that the program had a really good goal, the mission, and I just really agreed with everything that they did and wanted to help give back to the community that raised me.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Downs. I'm from Chester Hill, Ohio, born and raised in Morgan County. I heard about Americorps around 5 years ago when my now spouse was actually serving with them. I wanted to be able to give back to my community in ways that not many people can, and working a 10.5-month contract in an area that is in desperate need of help was right up my alley. So I'm proud to be serving. I'm considering doing a second year. My current site is Amesville Elementary School, serving in the school clinic and taking care of children when they come in that are sick. Also teaching nutrition classes to second grade students. I love what I do, and I'm looking forward to the rest of my contract.
Hi, my name is Candy Witham. I'm the Americorps Director for Rural Action's Ohio Stream Restore Corps. Our focus is environmental stewardship, and we serve doing environmental education, watershed restoration, zero waste, trail access to public places, and heritage tourism. And I have been with Americorps 9 years since our program began, but have been with National Service for almost 20 years. I started out as a VISTA volunteer with Rural Action, and then became the VISTA coordinator, and when our VISTA program ended, I became the Americorps coordinator. And we work here in rural Appalachia. We cover about 18 different counties. We have 26 members, and today we are here to have a swearing-in ceremony for our members, Ohio Stream Restore Corps, and HCOM's Concord program. They do Healthy Futures and work in the schools, and Americorps has meant so much to me. National Service has meant so much to me. It really got me started on a path that I never considered. I love it. I love the enthusiasm of the members. I love their energy. They come in wanting to make a change and bring all their creativity and their caring to the communities that they work with. And in turn, they receive a lot of training, which helps them prepare for careers when they're done with their term. They serve a 1-year term, 12 months, and they do receive a living allowance, which helps them pay their bills. And at the end of their term, they receive an education award that helps them either pay off student loans or go to school. We have several members who go on to graduate school. And it's just a joy to work with Americorps. They do lots of good. It's kind of a well-kept secret across the country. Everybody knows about the Peace Corps, but not everybody knows about Americorps, and it really is an amazing program. And I would encourage anybody who's interested in getting involved with their community and wants to spend a year of their time giving back to contact their closest Americorps program.
Hi, my name is Tyler Shorchin. I'm from Lipsick, Ohio, in Northwest Ohio, and I serve with the American Red Cross as a preparedness educator for adults and children. And really, the reason I got involved with Americorps is I was kind of raised always doing service positions, going on mission trips, working with after-school programs, things like that. My parents always instilled that in me. So, I think it's important, post-college, before you go out into the real world, start building your career and everything, just slowing it down, taking a year and giving back to your community, and just, learning more about yourself along the way, too. It's really humbled me, made me more appreciative for what I have and how comfortable I live.
You get the ones that just have a rough morning and they need to come in and take a time out. It's nice to be able to like cheer them up and get them back to class. What do you guys do?
All right, I'm Sam. What is that? Americorps, Rural Action, Environmental Ed. And so we each have our own like little things we do this year. I'm doing citizen science, which is like this thing called eBird. So right now, if I had a little list with me, I'd write down all the birds we'd see. When I go home, enter them in the computer, like the location and everything. You see like the whole life list, and everybody else is like all over the country. So it's just like help scientists kind of better understand data. It's like anybody can do it. So I'll bring that to schools and do stuff like that. As well as field trips and lessons, specialties.
Sam's specialties are also
Birds.
erosion, matters,
Trail work.
maps.
I like building trails in my spare time.
Say trail work. Sam, what's your latest craze? What have you really been into the last day? It's really been checking that trail cam.
The last day, I've been really in, either the trail cams, because we have bobcat tracks at the Chippewa Community Forest, which is really exciting, like right down the street from the high school.
That's awesome.
But otherwise, butterflies, because I have 2 black swallowtail butterflies I'm raising. They just won the chrysalis. It's just like the craziest thing ever.
Did they finally go in the chrysalis?
Yeah.
Watch them go to
I watched one like do his head. You know, it's weird. It's like a goo.
They like come out of their
Yeah. Well, what's amazing, I put it on a pencil, like in this little shoebox. I put a pencil at an angle. He climbed up halfway, and he was able to thread himself down to be perfectly flat. And then he won the chrysalis. And then the other one had a different angle, like also, it's at like a 80-degree angle, and won the chrysalis. So perfectly flat, which I thought was crazy.
Basically, what we do is a lot of we have an archive. We do a lot of historical tourism, but I'm also supposed to have my fingers in some outdoor recreation stuff too. So I'm actually working with our neighbors who happen to be the Buckeye Trail Association. Have you guys heard of them? Longest loop trail in the continental United States. Not longest trail by any stretch of the imagination. Trail. Anyway, and I help them with some event promotion and stuff like that. And Shawnee is a really neat little place. If you're not familiar, if you have a chance to come up and check out Shawnee. People like to say Shawnee looks like the Wild West, but we like to point out that actually the Wild West looks like Shawnee.
Set them straight, yeah.
So anyway, that's what I do.
I'm Miranda with Monday Creek up in New Straitsville. Caitlin is also in the office with us. We do a lot of watershed work, working directly with fish shocking, bug sampling, water quality monitoring, stuff like that. Kaylee can kind of add on to it.
I'm Caitlin. Most of sums up what we've done so far. We do a lot of community outreach within our watershed as well in Straitsville, and we put on kids camps and do some activities kind of taking people from the community and surrounding communities around and showing them one of our treatment projects. So we have dosers, so we're treating the streams that have acid mine drainage in them, like we're treating them with lime or calcium type product to bring the pH up to make it more neutral so fish and bugs and things can live in there. We're taking them to the moonshine distillery that's in New Straitsville. There's actually a little moonshine distillery there, so it's a kind of a cool little historic place to visit. Oh, and then there's a fish shocking demonstration. So we definitely monitor the streams. We
Engage in the community and kind of promote awareness of what goes on within watersheds.
The Monday Creek Restoration Project is literally an internationally renowned reclamation project.
Yeah, it's made a lot of progress. Like I think 20 years ago when they started, there were 4 fish in the stream. It was essentially considered pretty dead, and now we have over 30 species back.
I am actually the supervisor of these 4, so we are actually much different. We're on a different side of things. We are part of the Americorps College Guides, and I'll let them talk about their sites, but it's really cool. You guys all kind of have the outdoors going on, and we're like completely on the other side. It's really cool that we get to talk and just discuss about the different things that you can do with AmeriCorps. So I was actually a 2-year member, and then I became supervisor. So
all right, my office is in Philo High School in Duncan Falls, Ohio. That's where I went to high school, so I'm really excited to be back and serving our students, helping them plan for college. So I make sure that all of our students get the information that they need to be able to make the decisions of where they want to go to college and what they want to study.
I'm Kelsey. I'm at John Glenn High School. It's in New Concord. So I'm a college guide also, so I do pretty much the same thing he does. But on the different spectrum of things, I have a background in financial aid, so I can help my students a lot more with financial aid and that kind of thing. But at John Glenn, we try and make it so we do definitely encourage college going and that kind of thing, but we also understand that it's not necessarily for everyone. So we do a lot of promotion of just post-secondary experiences after high school, whether it's going to an adult center and getting certifications or going to a 2-year or 4-year school just so that they have a plan after they get out of high school is what we're trying to do right now.
I'm Desi. I work at the Crooksville Exempted Village. I am up in the Gear Up office, which that's another grant, but we both work in college access. However, we've been focusing just on post-secondary in general, having them to have a plan. It's definitely been a rewarding experience thus far, having a student come up to me telling me that she wouldn't have even contemplated going to college, even though she has the complete potential for it, and then saying, without you, I wouldn't have even contemplated it. It's great. So I've been working there. It's a relatively impoverished area. It's in Perry County, and the whole school is on free and reduced lunch. So it's definitely been a venture. The main thing for them right now is finding a resource for money. A lot of them are like, how can I get scholarships, financial aid to go to college? Because that's their barrier. So that's what I've been focusing on.
My name is Lydia. I am the college guide at Zanesville High School. Zanesville High School is the most urban that a rural school could get, probably. So I have about 207 seniors this year. I am focusing on the seniors right now because there's a lot of kids. But like the other college guys, I work with students every day. I can work with them one-on-one or in small groups. I can also give presentations to entire classes. I have one day next month where a teacher gave me her entire schedule and said, here, talk to them. So I'm currently in the planning stages for that. I have my own sort of resource center at the school, so students can come in and study for the ACT, SAT, register, look at colleges, look at the Bureau of Labor Statistics to find out more about their desired field. We, believe it or not, actually have students who will be first-generation high school graduates coming out of our school this year. And we are all going to be working with students who are first-generation college students and graduates. So we're working with them. I'm also taking a special interest in students that are often overlooked very easily in large settings, which are kids in special education. They may be high functioning, but they still have some challenges that just take a little bit of extra planning and time. So I work with them, and I work with kids who are coming out of all different sorts of home situations. I have a lot of foster kids. So I just try to come up with resources, connect them with the kids, and then give the kids the tools and the encouragement they need to use them for themselves.
Hello, my name's Patrick Teggy, and this is my second year doing Americorps. For you unfamiliar with Americorps, it's the National Service Agency. It's similar to a domestic Peace Corps. It was started by President Clinton to help revitalize America. So my position with Americorps is a service member with one of the programs called ComCorps in Athens, Ohio, and our agency focuses on reducing obesity and childhood diabetes. So we work with several nonprofit agencies as well as in schools to help children to do that. And we're working by teaching healthy cooking classes, gardening workshops, providing healthy, fresh produce to families in need. So we try to get out there to just help families. There's also several other positions in Americorps, because it's based throughout the country. Some programs are focused on revitalizing our natural resources, such as Rural Action, which is also based here in Athens, and they focus on a lot of the watersheds and state parks. They also have several corps out west working with preserving our forests out there. There's also programs focused on education as well. So we cover a lot of different areas just to help people. So I first started with Americorps after I had graduated from Marietta College. And I was always interested in sort of Americorps because I had met a VISTA, which is a completely different program than the Americorps service members. They're more focused on capacity building for agencies, whereas the Americorps service members like myself and the ones at Rural Action are more of direct service to people. But I'd met a VISTA who had planned a trip for my college for some of us to go on a service trip to Nicaragua, and during that time we started talking, and I really loved the idea of Americorps because I knew that when I had graduated I wanted to go in and help people. That's why I chose to be a teacher. And after I had graduated I tried to secure a teaching job here, but it's sort of hard to find social studies teaching jobs in this area. So I decided to look for Americorps positions, and I got an email from my college saying that they were looking for an Americorps person to apply to ComCorps to work out of that office to do Live Healthy Kids, which is one of the programs that we do. So I applied and ended up finding that that position was taken, but I was offered another position at Coolville Elementary and I decided to take it, so that's why I ended up here, and I loved it so much I decided to do a second year. So that's sort of how I ended up in Americorps. Yeah. And today I'm pretty excited because we're going to be having our swearing in ceremony with all of the state Americorps members throughout Ohio. So today we're going to be going on the courthouse steps of Athens and all retaking our Americorps service oaths to sort of symbolize us taking on our contracts in this year, because most of us took it when we started working, but this is just to sort of symbolically recognize us stepping into a year or 10 months of service depending on what program you're in. I'm also pretty excited about it because the City of Athens is also going to announce that this is Americorps Day for the City of Athens, so I'm really excited that we're sort of getting honored for the hard work that we've done, and I'm also excited to help and continue with my service in the future.
Americorps members met on the College Green in Athens, Ohio prior to being sworn in at the courthouse. They walked together down Court Street. Check out how you can join them. They can use the service of anybody and would like to invite you to help. They can use people that have graduated from college or graduating from high school. High schoolers, you can get involved and learn a lot of good skills. You've heard the people talk about what they are doing, and you can see they really enjoy being with Americorps. Sojourners invites you to contact Americorps and see how you can get involved. Have a great day.